Solana is one of the very best crypto investments in my opinion right now, and it sits under everyone's nose and no one is talking about it. And that is a really big issue if you're one of those people. And I'm going to explain why Solana is probably one of the very best picks in this video. So do me a favor, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and let's get into it. So here we are over on blockchaincenter.net. Now, weirdly, Solana during the last bull market was hyped up and everyone loved talking about it. Right now, Solana sits down in 8th with an $8.6 billion market cap and no one says a peep about it. And why do they not say a peep about it? Well, if you remember this little drama that happened at the end of last year, we saw FTX, led by the distressed Sam Bankman-Fried, go under, and along with it, its sister company Alameda Research. And Alameda Research held a huge amount of Solana. This dragged Solana heavily under. Was this any fault of Solana's, I hear you ask? Solana was just invested in by a company that did some shady stuff that no one even knew about, and some very big people in the game didn't know anything about. Now, what this has left us with is one of the most exciting opportunities. As the year begins, and I brought you this video at the end of December, just before New Year, about Solana, when Solana was worth $8. And we'll look at the charts later on of where Solana is and where Solana's upside is to understand just how exciting it's going to be for Solana going forward. Now, so as insult to injury, Solana's also had a little bit of security compromise earlier on this year. That doesn't shy away from the fact that I believe Solana is still a top 4 cryptocurrency. It does things that pretty much every other blockchain wishes it could. Has a huge active community of 11.5 million active users. It's the second biggest NFT market. And if you listen to Raoul Pal talk about this, he'll also tell you that this is one of the hottest crypto investments right now that no one's paying attention to. It's hot because, one, it still fundamentally is a phenomenal project with a passionate community. The second biggest NFT marketplace can do transactions for $0.00025. It's ultra fast. A huge amount of GameFi is also being built onto it. But Solana has been devalued by things that actually don't have a huge amount of impact on Solana's ability to do what it's actually there to do into the future. And that gives us a massive opportunity. Because if we listen to our friend Warren Buffett, who says, be greedy when others are fearful and be fearful when others are greedy, you'll notice that if you go and talk about HBAR, a blockchain that has also had similar issues to Solana, but also has a community nowhere near as advanced as Solana's, or accolades such as being the second largest NFT blockchain, well, you'll understand that Solana isn't where it should be right now, and that gives us an edge over the rest of the market who's just been greedy and hopping into hyped up coins, rather than hopping into the coins that have a bit of fear circulating around them. Now, as we look into the Solana chart, you'll see some fairly interesting stuff that's been playing out. Now, this is a weekly chart for Solana, and it's looking pretty bad, okay? It's looking like it's basically in this forever going downtrend, and eventually everyone believes that it will probably end up at 0. And that's where I want to be buying. When everyone else thinks that it's going to go to 0, I will always do the opposite. Because everyone, unfortunately, is always wrong. If everyone was right, then the markets wouldn't work the way they do. So we just need to do the opposite of the masses. It makes life much easier. But one thing you'll notice if you've watched any crypto YouTube videos, that in a downtrend like this, eventually it does have to break the downtrend. And the longer it stays in this downtrend, the better the chances of getting out. Now you can see the impact of this FTX crash here. The fallout from the FTX crash is pretty much over, in my opinion. We won't hear too much more of it. And what we can see here, we had a nice pull away from this area back into this zone. And we can see the 50-day moving average, which is this blue line, and the 200-day moving average are kind of just about parallel right now. And if we break beyond this line, we're going to have a cross, a bullish golden cross, and that could be the start of something massive for Solana moving towards the upside. And this is the equivalent line on the Bitcoin chart. But notice how Bitcoin broke well beyond it, came back down, retested, and is now on its way up into another huge resistance line, which everyone's telling you we're going to go huge again. Personally, I think we're going to bounce down, but that's the story for another day. That just gives an example right now of why everyone is usually wrong in crypto, and actually we just need to do the opposite. So we jump back to Solana. Because of that massive sell-off, we're now 91% below all-time highs, which is very, very exciting for me, because back to all-time highs, you have a 10x. And in the words of Raoul Pal the other day, on one of his podcasts on the Altcoin Daily channel, he said that the worst case, in his opinion, was for Sol to hit all-time high, which at the time was like a 12x, just below a 10.5x. So saying the worst case scenario is a 10.5x for this crypto. But realistically, we could see Solana heading up towards $500. If we're heading up to $500, you get a 21x, and in pretty much the best case, most exciting opportunity in a huge bull market, you get to $1,000, which is a 38x. That's enormous. Can it reach this? If you were to look back in 2017, now you'd say that Solana pattern that we've just looked at looks like this, and we are probably somewhere down here right now. I'm not sure exactly where along this trajectory we are, but guess what, guys? This is not a Solana chart. This is an Ethereum chart. And this right here is January 2018. Notice then where we go from here into the next bull market for Ethereum. From its previous all-time high, which was around $1,400, it did a 4x. And that is just effectively what I'm saying could happen on the Solana chart. All-time high sat at around $250 to hit $1,000 is the next all-time high potentially for Solana. So why is no one buying it? Well, because it's had a bit of fear and a bit of problems going around it, which means no one's really paying attention to it anymore. Everyone's moved on to the next exciting cryptocurrency that's floating around in the market right now. They're all getting hyped up, and in these early market stages, the more technical cryptocurrencies don't tend to do quite as well because they're harder to understand. So the people who are investing in crypto right now are like the retailers, right? Your average retailer doesn't really understand how a blockchain works or what's important for that blockchain to work. And that's fair enough. They might be able to understand how Garlic Games work because it's a very straightforward platform to understand. And that's why maybe that gets a bit more hype than Solana. Nothing against Garlic Games, it's one of my bags. I think it's a great crypto and I think it's going to do well, but it's definitely significantly easier to explain to someone else what Garlic Games is compared with what Solana is and what Solana has to offer. So what other things could support Solana moving into the next bull market? We already know they have a well-established team. We already know they have a huge community of passionate people who are interested in supporting Solana. Tons of different games being developed on the Solana blockchain. You've got various NFT marketplaces and launchpads that use Solana. As we move into the next bull market, we're going to see NFTs moving away from profile pictures to in-game assets, and that is supported by Solana. The rise of GameFi, which I talk about so regularly on this channel, using this particular image which shows you that in 2026 we're going to see a $67 billion market cap for gaming, tells you why Solana has such a big part to play in that. You've also got the potential for Meta, previously Facebook, to do a big deal with Solana, and various other metaverse projects that will look to be powered by Solana. Recently had transitions across with Helium and Jasmine token migrating to the Solana blockchain. This shows that Solana, within the world of people who actually really understand the tech, is still absolutely fine and will do extremely well. And this is why you must pay attention to it and not just listen to all the kind of scaremongering and rubbish about this particular crypto. I'll tell you as and when I think it's a good opportunity to invest. And right now, in my opinion, obviously not financial advice, I'm not trained or qualified to give you financial advice, Solana is massively undervalued. Therefore, I see value in buying undervalued assets that have a good reason to push higher than they currently are set at. I think while other cryptocurrencies right now are actually a bit overinflated, of which I think Bitcoin right now is a bit overinflated, I don't think Solana is, which makes it a better investment right now than many other cryptos. And if you're looking to buy Solana or any other cryptocurrency for that matter, well, head through that link down below in the description to come across to Fairdesk, where you'll get up to a $35,000 bonus through using that link. You could trade on spot. You can also do copy trading, where you can copy experienced traders with just a few clicks of the button. Also, guys, every single day in my Telegram, which is linked down below and absolutely free, we are discussing various different cryptos. So if you want, get involved in that. Do not miss out on an opportunity to find out about the next hot cryptocurrencies. So do me a favor, guys, hit that like button, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.